Kia ora, it's Ruth here in my garden in Christchurch. July, and it's finally a bit of a cooler day after so many warm days. So I thought it's about time I sort out my strawberries. So today I'm just going to quickly show you how I get my strawberries all snug up for the winter so that they've got lots of room and lots of space to grow and get more energy for strawberries next summer. These plants here, they've been in for about 2 years. The first year they didn't produce many strawberries. The second year, like this season we've just had, was amazing. We were bountiful with strawberries. So I'm going to give them 1 more year before I pull them out. But what I also do with my strawberries is these ones are ones that send out runners. So they send out little babies that come out, and what I do is I grab them and I put them back in the soil so they grow roots. And so I've got some of those first year ones in here too. I do also have some gaps though, so I will have to plant some new strawberries. Now, to get ready for organising my strawberries, I've got some more hay or straw, I've got my worm compost, I've got some worm tea, my secateurs, and some water that I'll be putting my worm tea into. What I like to do first is just remove some of these big dead leaves. I then put them down into the hay to mulch around as well, but it means that these plants have the best growing area around them. Now these also, in another video I showed, are starting to grow some strawberries already this season. A little bit crazy, so I'm actually going to chop these off because I want my plants to be putting energy into its roots and getting up lots of nutrients for next season rather than growing these because they probably won't get to anything anyway. So just before I do some close-ups on me getting it all ready, I just want to say these are some number 8 wire that I have bent around. I've had them for a couple of seasons and they're awesome, so they're just what I use to keep the bird netting above all the strawberries for the summer. And I'm going to have to do something like this with our new macrocarpa plant boxes because sadly the birds have been getting to our seedlings. One more thing before I start with some close-ups is these stones. This was a Pinterest fail. They look pretty, but I'd seen on Pinterest that if you paint some rocks that look like strawberries, put them around your strawberry plants when they're not fruiting, it will trick the birds. The birds will peck them, thinking that they're strawberries and think, oh, these aren't worth it. And then when your real strawberries there, they won't come. Painted a whole lot, did not work 1 ounce. Made the strawberry plants look pretty with 10 strawberries there when they weren't fruiting, but when the real strawberries came, we've got clever birds and they knew it was. So now I have to keep covering. So here goes, organising my strawberries, getting them ready for finishing the winter and so they're ready for the next season. To start, I'm going to find all of the little strawberries that are hiding and I'm going to lop these off. Feels sad picking them off, but I know that they're not going to come to anything, so there's no point in getting the plant to use its energy. And these strawberries I'm not going to put back around the plant. But the leaves I'm going to, so what I do is I just pull back, find out where a big bunch of dead leaves are and just chop them off. Sometimes I can pull them off, but that also risks sometimes pulling the whole plant out. Now this one here I can show you actually. This one is one that has some of the babies from last year, so it used to be attached to the mother plant and now it's actually got, I can see 3. So I can pull them apart and this will grow and so will these two. So what I'm going to do is, in a gap I've just got over here, I'm going to put these in. And keep going with my dead ones. If you have a look under here, this is where all the hay currently is from last season that I've been kind of filling as I go. And if we get a little bit closer, you can see how fantastic the soil is underneath. It is nice and rich, a little bit dry at the moment, but it's beautiful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add some worm castings around the bases of the plants so that they can have a bit more of an energy boost, because as this planter box is over here, it can't get anything else in it other than what I add. So I'm going to add it underneath the hay. I'm going to do that all around the plants. And then once I have it all around the edges, I'm going to add in some fresh hay or straw. And I pack this in quite a bit and quite tightly because I don't have these covered in the winter and the birds do like to come and steal it. I'm okay with the birds stealing a bit because, you know, birds are great. They can use some. If I tuck it in underneath the edges, then it stays a lot more and doesn't get blown away in the wind. So there is one happy little plant. What I'll do now is I'll just give it a little bit of water. I have some worm tea mixed in with the water, and that will just water in all of the worm castings, but also it means that this hay just kind of settles down a little bit and it sticks together a bit to make a good solid layer. And that's my strawberries. Thanks again for watching. Remember to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. And if you've got any questions about any of the words or things I've said in my videos, please either comment or send me a message. One question I had was, what was worm castings? In short, worm casting is worm poo. It's when the worms have eaten all the goodness of all the food scraps I've put into the worm farm, and it's the soil, the worm castings, the worm poo that comes out at the bottom. So, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time. Ka kite.